Chapter 347, Cultivation Reversal. This was the first time Song Shi had dual cultivated with a woman of similar strength. He had never felt so refreshed. He actually could not control himself and lost his mind. In his previous dual cultivation, Bai Yuer's cultivation was a realm higher than his, and Bai Zhaoqin was much weaker than him. There were more or less some flaws. Now, it was different. Both sides had reached a perfect state. The yin and yang of the two were harmonized perfectly, secretly harmonizing with the great Tao of heaven and earth. Yao Yue's condition was slightly better than his, but she was also a bit more feminine. Her expression became gentle, and she no longer had a cold appearance. In particular, Song Shi had the Kanate Tao body. He brought her into a sentient state, and she gained more insight into the breakthrough. Both sides benefited from each other. The effect surpassed their expectations. The golden supreme yang true fire and the white grand moon primordial water revolved around each other, forming a ball of water and fire. Song Shi and Yao Yue were two centers, with yang in yin and yin in yang. The yin-yang sphere emitted a dazzling light, forming a devouring power that crazily absorbed the nearby spiritual key of heaven and earth. The phenomenon of a spiritual key vortex appeared in the outside world. The light emitted formed a day and a month in the sky, like the sun and moon shining together. It was especially magical and extraordinary. When the elders and hall masters of Yao Moon Palace saw this, they were all stunned. This is the dual cultivation phenomenon of the sun-moon brilliance art. The palace master is actually dual cultivating with someone. I didn't see wrongly, sect master is actually dual cultivating as well. I've lived long enough to see it. The palace master called that person over just now. Could he be cultivating with the palace master now? Many people's expressions were extremely interesting. For a moment, they did not know what to say. As the power of yin and yang converged and their state stabilized, Song Shi realized that his cultivation level was actually rising. Previously, when he was cultivating with Bai Yuer, his cultivation level had also increased very quickly, but it was far from this ridiculous speed. He felt like he was sitting on a rocket. Pure power kept pouring into his body. As long as he circulated the sun-moon brilliance art, he could quickly convert it into his own nomological power. He looked surprised. What's going on? Even if our cultivation levels are about the same, our cultivation levels shouldn't increase so quickly, right? This is because of my special physique and my cultivation technique. Yao Yue explained simply, you can treat me as a good furnace. Under the influence of the cultivation technique, our cultivation levels will be similar. Song Shi was deep in thought. During his time in the Yao Moon Palace, he had more or less understood a little. Some people indeed had special physiques and were very suitable to be furnaces, just like humanoid spirit stones and medicinal pills. In addition, the cultivation technique also had the effect of balance. It was equivalent to him taking advantage of Yao Yue's dharmic powers to improve himself. He laughed. You never cultivate with men for that reason? More or less. Firstly, I haven't met anyone suitable. Secondly, if I'm cultivating with a man whose cultivation level is much lower than mine, I'm just helping him and not benefiting from it at all. Yao Yuen nodded. Fortunately, the total amount of your magic power is not much inferior to mine, but your realm is a little lower. I should be able to help you quickly reach the advanced stage of the nascent soul realm. At that time, please help me break through. Will this cause your cultivation level to decrease? Song Shi felt a little embarrassed. He had already asked for a reward, so he had to show some concern for the other party's cultivation. It will decrease, but I've already prepared spirit stones and medicinal pills to deal with this problem. They can make up for the consumption of cultivation. Yao Yue said calmly. Song Shi roughly understood that this was equivalent to 2 cups of different heights of water joining together. The water level would become the same. If he did not want the water level to drop too much, he would have to pour some more water in from the outside world. Regardless of whether he poured the water or not, his cultivation base would be similar to Yao Yue's. He had really profited a lot. Previously, when he cultivated with Bai Yuer, his speed was already 10 times faster than normal. Cultivating for a year was equivalent to 10 years, and his realm was about to break through to the mid-stage nascent soul realm. However, that could not compare to the speed at which it was being poured back now. In just 3 days, Song Shi's aura increased greatly, and his cultivation easily reached the mid-stage nascent soul realm. With his foundation, he would not be at a disadvantage even if he encountered a mid-stage soul transformation cultivator. His cultivation continued to flow backward. He saw Yao Yue taking out some medicinal pills and eating them. With a thought, he also took out some medicinal pills from his spoils of war and ate them. The two of them were now a whole. Whether he took medicine or Yao Yue took medicine, it was actually equivalent to replenishing his energy. Another month passed, when he had eaten most of the high-level medicinal pills that could increase his cultivation. Song Shi's cultivation broke through to the late-stage nascent soul realm. Such a fast breakthrough speed was more than 100 times faster than his normal state. If it was just ordinary bitter cultivation, he could advance a small realm in 100 years. Now, he could do it in a month. It could be seen how great the benefits were. Advanced nascent soul realm was basically the limit of one's cultivation. If one wanted to reach perfection, they had to polish themselves and continue comprehending. On the other hand, even with the help of external objects to replenish her nomological power, Yao Yue's cultivation had still decreased by a small realm. Song Shi felt a little guilty and said in embarrassment, "It's been hard on you. This is my choice. You don't have to feel burdened." Yao Yue did not care, nor did she use this matter to make Song Shi owe her a favor. "That's true, we're Tao companions now. There's no need to be so polite." Song Shi chuckled. He was in a good mood. He could farm cultivation stats through death, but how could it be faster than this? Tao companion. Yao Yue was stunned for a moment, and her gaze on Song Shi became even gentler. "It's been a long time since I've had anyone close to me." She had lived for a long time and was cultivating most of the time. Coupled with the fact that her cultivation method was rather special, she had unknowingly sealed her heart and found it difficult to get close to others. This man who had suddenly appeared in front of her made her feel an urge that she had not felt for a long time, and she recovered a little. "Looks like we need to bond more." Song Shi smiled. He could roughly guess why Yao Yue was like this. Perhaps this was one of the negative effects of longevity. The other party had lived for more than 1,000 years and was already like this. If he did not die, there would be endless years in the future. It was possible that he would become as cold as Yao Yue in the future. Just thinking about it made him feel a little melancholic. No, he had to do more things and find a few more Tao companions. Otherwise, life would be too boring. This was not to be a playboy. It was just to prevent himself from becoming autistic without anyone to interact with. Song Shi thought to himself, finding a sufficient reason for his sentimentality. "Do you want children?" Yao Yu suddenly said. Song Shi was almost shocked. He was speechless. "Are you always so direct? Why beat around the bush?" Yao Yu asked curiously. "It's human nature to carry on the family line. I want to give it a try. If you don't have any objections, we can go deeper." Song Shi realized that Yao Yue was a straightforward woman, and her coldness was only an outward expression. He flew over and hugged Yao Yue, saying with a smile, "I definitely have no objections." The latter's body trembled, and her heart beat faster. A blush appeared on her face. "It's very difficult for a powerhouse to bear offspring. Let's just give it a try first." "That's what I thought." Song Shi nodded.